when people become familiar with the methodology and they understand, it's experiential learning and it's child-centered and, it's really aimed at the child. It's not everybody learns the same thing at the same time, at the same pace. Parents believe their children are special and they want the education to surround their child. And when you can find that, that's a really amazing experience to give to your children.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
It was an easy decision. I had worked at the school prior, and we truly believed in the methodology of Montessori. We only spoke French at home, actually, and Clanmore is an English-speaking school. It does offer French, a great French class. So our children didn't speak English, and that was kind of a trepidation of ours. But ultimately, I think knowing the staff, the methodology, the approach to education is what sold us. And that's what helped us make the decision to send our children to Clanmore.
It was the easiest selection that we had to make. So
yes, the people that work there, we knew that they would be, it's an extension of our family, really. And we knew that our children would be well cared for. That the language was not going to be a barrier based on how they teach. How the materials are presented. In fact, it's great for acquiring new language. And so, it was an easy decision. They quickly felt a sense of belonging. And I think when you belong, then self-esteem, follows. And I think that was very helpful. And
they loved being there.
Yes.
They loved going to school, going and knowing that they were doing work there, and a lot of excitement and energy for being at that school and that with that group of children. And they enjoyed the teachers and the staff that they got to work with. So it was a positive experience, I think, all around.
The sense that they mattered. They were a child of a certain age, but their opinion mattered. The actions that, they did mattered to not only the children around them, but the adults. And I think that they felt that they could speak to the teachers, any teachers, and feel that they would have their ear. And, if they had an idea for a fundraiser or an idea, of a story, that they could approach them and say, well, I'm writing this piece, do you think you could read it? And know that someone would always make the time for them.
I think it enabled them a lot of freedom and liberty. And, one of the things we really like about it is, kind of self-directed learning, so that the child gets to choose their path and things that interest them and excite them, and they can follow that path, and the teachers are there to try to enable that path for them. And I think that worked really well for our kids. They responded to that and appreciated that.
And I don't know, but we moved from Clanmore, which is a Montessori school, to a public school in New Brunswick, just because there are no Montessori schools here. And we did that for just a couple of years, but they came home and said, we have to sit all day and we don't get to talk. We're not free to talk. We have to raise our hands to talk. And, and there's value in all of that. But it was, it felt like some of their freedom had been taken away, the freedom of speech, the freedom to move, the freedom to choose their work. And I think I would say that was a big piece that they valued, may not have realized while in Clanmore, but once remove, they saw a huge difference in how they were perceived and how they could just operate from day to day.
We also saw a very big contrast in terms of what we had become used to, and when that wasn't present in the school environment. So it reinforced what we knew we really liked about the school and why it was important to us.
I think respect, and I think values, that the children not only did academic work, but that they would take time to talk about emotional, be like their emotions, the talking about freedom and responsibility, and what responsibilities do we have as human beings, and thinking greater thoughts than just academic thoughts. And I think the freedom for them to make choices for themselves, right? That they know that they're responsible for doing all this work, but they get to choose when they do it. And give children, to empower the children to make decision is huge. I think that as parents, that they had those choices.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, it's two things. It's relationships and community. So relationships among the other parents that attended the school, that was really important to us, and relationships with the staff members. That was also really important. Not only the children with the staff, but the parents with the staff as well. We were very engaged parents and wanted that relationship and sought that relationship. But the other thing is the community. Clanmore talks a lot about a community, and it is a group, it is a community at work. It kind of performs like a community, and that's really important. It's kind of nice when you have that. It's more than just send your kids to school. It is being part of a larger group and a larger community, and we really appreciated that while we were there.
Well, and they welcome the parents, and they hope that the parents will come in and participate. It's the symbol is that they wear on their necks is the child, the parent, and the teacher, and together we formed a unit, right? We're all there for the child, and they ask of us, they ask us to participate in a way that's helpful, or just be present, right? We could go in and listen to reading if we wanted to. If we wanted to go for a coffee morning, we were always welcome within the school. That doors were open prior to COVID. I imagine things are different now, but the door was always open.
I guess I would say, and maybe you don't realize it until you're there, but the passion that people have for the methodology, and you really see it, and you become it's contagious. So you get to become part of it, and you don't really get that texture and understanding until you're part of the community and until you see it and feel it. And when you buy into that philosophy, it's a really interesting piece of your child's development. And I think that was probably something that I didn't anticipate, and wasn't until we were there that realized, oh my goodness, these people are really passionate about what they do. And it's not only an education philosophy, it's a mindset, and it's a choice. And I think that was a pleasant surprise.
I think that and I'm going to speak as a staff member, I think we evaluate on a weekly basis what's happening. And we if we see situations happen, we always come back to our core values. And then we ask ourselves, as a community, as teachers, are we meeting these needs, right? Are we staying true to the course? And so we're very attentive to what's happening in the children's lives. I think we have a good pulse on the ups and downs of, if is there a situation happening that needs a little more caring, and then we all pitch in as a group. And I would say that the staff is really good at doing that, right? At coming together as a unit and saying, we need to keep our eyes open for this person because that person needs our help right now. And I think they're good. That's something that has always surprised me, not only as a staff member, but as a parent.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a caring and loving community, and it's one that's genuine. There's a genuine care, not only for children but for the development of children, and I think that's a really beautiful thing. And it's something that kind of shines throughout, not only with the kids but with the staff and the administration of the school as well. And it is kind of neat to see that and I experience some of that care. I actually learned about restitution, and I learned about restitution because the school preaches that and practices that belief. And I'd say they're consistent and they're true to their values, and the values hold steadfast, and it kind of shows throughout, right straight from the school administration all the way down to the staff and to the children.
One family member stayed at home and then the children came to school, and eventually it worked to, two working parents and children coming to school. But I think fundamentally it's, parents who, hopefully I feel as though they're choosing because of the approach and not just because it's another private school. You really need to buy into the 3 years in one class and the methodology. And I think for the most part, people are there for that. They love, the idea of their children wanting more independence. And this is the school. This is the school from the time they're toddlers all the way to the middle school. And the prepared environment is set up in that way so that the children can be independent. And not only that, but we do a lot of work with the families. So the families are asked to learn about what is it that we do so that hopefully we can make that connection not only at school, but also keep that pattern going at home.
Yeah, and I guess the way I would describe it is the family that wants something better for their child and are willing to commit to providing that. I think for me, one thing that comes to mind, we were able to teach our kids piano at the school, and they had a lovely piano teacher.
Oh, yes.
And who really instilled kind of a joy of music and a passion for music. So I think one of my fondest memories, and I think one of the things that the kids were proud of was learning music and being able to do this in the school environment. And I'll always remember the piano recitals that were done with the school and with a really, really lovely music teacher. I think that was something that the children were proud of and was a really positive experience.
The ability to do science experiments independently, with gas or with fire or, you name it, because they had all the tools and they had all the lesson leading up to the point where they could conduct experiments on their own. And, one comes to mind is, what would happen if the earth didn't rotate, and if that's done with a marshmallow on a stick and a candle, and one side burns and then the other one is white, and then they get to eat it at the end, right? And but that they could do all those things on their own. It just, the ability that was a choice for them if that's what they wanted to do. And I think just that freedom to move about and make those choices is what they come home and be excited about.
And a pride in learning something. You can always tell when the fire has been lit inside of a child's mind, and they're really interested in what they're learning, and they can't wait to talk to you about it. And that happened a lot in our home, which is a neat experience.
What has been nice is that we've always been able to talk to one another, that everybody has been willing to, talk about what's happening, and then not only talk about what's happening, but, here's what I'm going to do, and here's what you could do, and here's what the child could do. And I think that approach, like what the school's ready to do and what we're, the part that as parents, we're going to play, and then let's also give the child a responsibility, and then let's, see what comes of it. I think that for me, for us, I think that that was really empowering.
Our experience has been, really open and receptive to feedback and appreciated discussions. And we had lots of them, and about some terrific things that were happening, and, questions or concerns, and the staff is open to them. As Diane said, having a smile at their face from the moment the child arrives in the morning, and a relationship with the parents. I think that was really important for us. As engaged parents, we wanted a relationship, and had questions and concerns and feedback. And our experience had been that was very well received from the school, and appreciated and welcomed from the school.
One of the reasons, the love that you feel, the love that is given, and the love that you get.
Well, you should describe, what does Clanmore mean?
Clanmore is I want to say Gaelic for a big family, and that's what it is. The staff has had very few turnovers. People who started the school are still there, right? Who started, I think one has retired, but that's why they left, right? Because they retired. And it's such, I said to them when I left, I'm the sum of all of you, because I've learned so much, right? I finished the Montessori Teachers College, and I landed there, and it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, so in terms of it, it's a loving and caring environment, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. I think it's an excellent Montessori education for kids that are for families that are interested in experiential learning. I think it's a community. So, if you're looking for something other than just the school, where parents meet parents and become friends, and children get involved in activities, you're really you're buying into a different lifestyle in terms of your kids at school.
Yeah.
It isn't just a drop off. It's participation.
Children are free to be who they want to be, that they're free to have ideas, and they're free to express them. They're free to research them. In fact, we encourage it. We want that kind of thinking, and they know it. And so they walk in and they have an idea on, elephants and how to save elephants. Then we're going to work with that, right? But that they are free to make those choices, and the children are empowered. So yes, it's a great methodology, but really at the center of it is the children and their feelings, right? That when they walk in, this is their place, this is their second home, and they are safe to be themselves. Do your research, right? That make sure, one, that the approach is the right approach for your family. Um, and then get to know the staff, right? Get to know who the teachers would be, and what their day is going to look like, feel like. Those are two important things for me.
Yeah, for me, I would say ask lots of questions, visit the school, challenge the philosophy and the mindset. I think that's really important, but it's got to align to your values. So if you know your values and are very, very confident in your values, and they're very well defined, then find something that aligns to those values. And when you see it, you know it, and it's a great thing, because then the community reinforces the values you already have. So I think for me, that's my best advice, is align to your values. And when you see something that has those values at present, then that's a good relationship to have.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.